And lo and behold, they did not go to sleep. My dad convinced my mom to go to a nearby establishment, and my mom pulled out her phone, and there was a video of my nearly 70-year-old mother having straight whiskey poured down her throat by some busty woman who happened to be at the bar. I don't know if this woman was the bartender or if she just happened to be there. But my parents, I'm convinced, they lied. They weren't tired. They thought we were lame and decided to go to a bar and have fun.
Basically, that's what
and that's what I said. Are we that lame now?
But I got to commend your parents, man. I mean, not too many parents that age is going to go out and have a good time. They were like, damn, y'all sitting in here like y'all don't have life. We about to get out. Hey, we tired. See y'all later. Kiss the grandbaby. Soon as they got in their car, they hightailed it downtown.
It wasn't downtown.
Oh,
it was in East Nashville.
Okay.
It was within walking distance of my house and their Airbnb. But my mom showed me this video, and I was like, I thought you guys were going to sleep. This is the furthest thing from going to sleep I can think of.
Man, y'all should consider yourselves lame.
Well, I mean, that goes without saying. I speak for myself. My wife is not lame. Neither is my son. But
I'm saying lame in the sense of your parents. They were like, we got to get out of here.
Yeah.
We got to go have some fun. Not that they didn't have fun with y'all, but they were like, let's have some grown-up time.
I do remember when I was younger, my parents being invited to a wedding. One of my mom's friends' daughters got married. And I remember a story about an ice luge being involved. So my mom, she knows how to go hard. She knows how to party. Clearly, that did not get passed down to me. I've never guzzled straight whiskey. Like, we're not talking about taking a shot. This was someone pouring a bottle with the little
silver thing,
with the little pourer thing on. I don't know what you call it.
That streamlines the pour.
Right.
Yeah,
straight into her mouth.
So she did not have control, but she was like, "Bring it on."
Yes, basically, as I understand it, based on this short video clip I saw.
Was Def Leppard's "Pour Some Sugar on Me" playing in the background?
I did. I need to go back and listen to the music at the time. I would not be surprised, based on the vibe of the bar they were at. It would not surprise me if there was some Def Leppard being played.
So what time did they sort of have grandparent duty the next day? Were they kind of burning the candle at both ends? Were they kind of hung over the next day for the shift?
No, they
I mean,
were
the
not,
kids rise up early.
Yeah,
right?
They were not on the clock on Sunday morning.
So they knew it. So they're like, this is our chance to party.
Oh yeah. What better time?
So, Mom, I love you. You rule. Your son clearly did not get those cool genes from you. Speaking of, well, this has nothing. Actually, this is a complete non sequitur. So there's no speaking of here. Last week, we shared with you the recruiting pitch for LeBron James. As we have come to understand, if you want a chance to pitch LeBron James as a free agent, you have to send a voice memo to his agent, Rich Paul, who will then share it with LeBron himself, if I recall the details correctly. Well, one NBA player with Nashville ties took a shot at it. Luke Cornett, member of the San Antonio Spurs, but more importantly for our purposes, a proud alum of Vanderbilt University. He took a shot at sending a voice memo to pitch LeBron James. Connor, we've got the clip. All right. Here was part of Luke Cornett's pitch for LeBron James to come to the San Antonio Spurs.
Hey, LeBron, Mr. James, LeBron. It's Luke Cornett, number 7 of the San Antonio Spurs. You yelled at me a little bit last week, last year. Anywho, I just wanted to, kind of extend the invitation to come over here to San Antonio. We got a great thing going. A lot of young talent, it's an easy place to live, tax-free, that's always something. You can play alongside, a generational player, and Victor too. Anyways, SeaWorld, La Panaderia. If it's hitting, bussin'. I think you'd love it. We have a guest room available if you need some time to kind of figure things out on your end. We'd be open to open our doors. Also a great place for kids, which I don't know, what age or how many. I know how old one of your kids is. 450 and all. But yeah, you should just come swing on by, try it out. I'd love to have you. I think it could be a swell time.
So that was part of Cornette's pitch to LeBron James,
Swell
of course,
time.
in jest. But my favorite part of that was his attempt at humor. You can play alongside a generational player and Victor too. And then there was like the like he knows the joke didn't land, so he just cleared his throat. But
I thought that was a good delivery by Luke. I mean, it sounded heartfelt to me.
What more could you ask for?
Yeah.
I mean,
Tax-free state.
He had me at
tax-free.
SeaWorld.
SeaWorld.
Las, what did he say? Las, what was the name of the place?
some sort of restaurant.
Yeah. So you have
I'm
good
unfamiliar
restaurants,
with.
I like how he just kind of worked his way. Like, I'm number 7. You yelled at me a little bit last year, like just to jar the memory a little bit, just to make sure we know who this is on the other line.
And when he yelled at him when he dunked on him.
Yeah.
SeaWorld,
SeaWorld.
big selling point. If you've ever been to SeaWorld, I don't know what bussin' is. Connor, you're our youth correspondent. What does bussin' mean?
Bussin' means it hits, like it's good, like you like it. Like if I were to take a drink of Dr. Pepper and I like how it tastes, I would say that's bussin'.
So is there a double bussin'? Because he said bussin'.
He said 2 bussin'.
Yeah.
That means it's really good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just wanted to make sure.
I haven't been to
Double-decker
SeaWorld
bussin'.
in
It's
decades.
not a term I use, but it is a term.
Is that a relevant term, or is it one of those? Because it seemed like every 2 weeks a new term is developed, and the one from prior is no longer like it.
I am quickly aging out of the terms as I am
Oh,
growing
okay.
older. So it appears it comes from the youth, which is the middle school to high school kids.
Mhm.
They come up with this stuff, and I'm now out of the loop. So
Hey,
I don't.
man, you
I
got to
don't-
stay in the loop. You got to be our correspondent on
Is
this stuff.
They're all we got.
bussin'?
Yeah.
Is bussin' from the creators of 6'7"?
Probably.
Oh God.
I'm sure.
Oh well.
I still don't understand the 6.
I don't either.
Luke Cornette,
I don't.
much hipper than me, apparently.
Oh man.
We didn't play it in that clip, but he also said, "You're chasing number 5. We've got 5. We're all kind of in the same ballpark here."
I mean, it's a good pitch. Now, will LeBron go there?
I made the case a couple of weeks ago that LeBron James should go to San Antonio, but it appears that the Spurs are no longer in the running for LeBron James. I think he could be that veteran presence for a young team on the rise.
Yeah. So how would we pitch LeBron to come here?
Yeah. To be a show host.
Yeah, show host. Because I mean, we got to send in a videotape or recorded tape.
LeBron, you would have the best hairline on the show, bar none.
Whoa. No. Connor's, come on now. Connor's over there.
After Connor.
He's bald.
Yeah, he's technically.
So are we.
yes.
Well, maybe we need to take the other angle then. That he's
Yeah.
going to fit right in.
Exactly. You could be the
You'll be very
four-ball guy.
comfortable.
People make fun of his hairline. Here is a safe space because most
Yes.
of us are bald.
Okay, we're
And
going
the
to work
head
on
coach
this.
is bald here.
We're going to
The
workshop
OC.
this.
So, I mean, there are a lot of things we can kind of pitch him. Again, no state income tax.
Yeah, Luke Cornette
got
pitched
that.
that.
Mm-hmm.
We can pitch that.
The city's growing.
I mean, don't tell him that Tennessee is the
Yeah.
worst state to live in,
We
according
can't-
to
we
CNBC.
won't add that.
We got to
won't
leave
add
that out. We got to leave that out.
It's not Memphis.
Yeah, we are getting what is it? The system to go from the airport to downtown.
That
What is
weird
Yeah,
Elon Musk tunnel
exactly.
thing.
We don't know when it's going to be finished, but we're getting it. New
Yep.
stadium
We
coming.
got Waymos.
Yeah, we got Waymos.
Do you have Waymos in Cleveland, LeBron, or in San Francisco, LeBron? I don't know.
We also know he looks really good in red.
Yeah, there you go.
We got some polos for you. We can do that.
Absolutely. He's into music. What better place?
We got great music.
Exactly.
Now,
We can get him some Predator tickets.
This is very important to him, apparently. The golfing.
Oh,
The
We got
golfing
that.
is
We got some good
very
golf.
important
We
to
got some
LeBron
good
James.
golfers. I mean, go to Hermitage. That's wonderful.
Yeah,
we want to go
we
there.
got a lot
Absolutely.
of good
We got
choices
good
there.
places. Come on now.
So what we need to do is we need to organize our thoughts, and we need to record our own pitch.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got to
LeBron
get the
James.
number. Do we have the guy's number?
Yeah, we got to send it to him.
The agent's number. I mean, we need the digits.
That's true.
And you can move within 10 minutes of your job. 15.
I can DM him on Instagram.
Yeah.
Just send me the
15.
pitch. I'll do it.
Okay.
I
We got
think-
lakes.
Yeah, I think it should start with, it's not Memphis. Okay.
Yeah,
We got the Batman building.
absolutely. We
Scott
got the new
Waverly.
Pinnacle Event Center.
Scott Waverly says we should pitch LeBron to join the Titans. I mean, wasn't LeBron an accomplished football player in his youth?
He was.
He was. Yeah.
Okay.
So we got an NFL team here, which you can play for.
There's a lot of opportunity
Absolutely.
for LeBron James here. He said he would want the same texter said he once said he would play linebacker. I see him more as like a tight end.
I can see him as a defensive end. Not a maybe a tackle.
I think we got to
Just
get him the
depends.
ball, though, don't we? I mean, he's got to be able to, like, go up, grab it in the red
Oh,
zone.
yeah,
I mean,
the tight end. 6'9", tight end,
Yeah.
6'10". Man.
Andrew says, I just turned 35 and my sister is 34. We just had a riveting conversation about the word unk, and apparently it means different things to different generations. I asked her if I was old enough to be an unk, and she said yes, but it wasn't a bad thing. I said I thought unk meant 50s and above, and she said younger, but I digress.
I do
But
know
that-
Unk.
I mean, 50 and above shouldn't be a bad thing if you're unk. I don't think
You
so.
were all three Unks, if that makes you
I
feel any better.
mean, I don't take it as a bad
I
thing.
mean, I am a literal uncle, so that's okay.
is that with the silent H?
It's with a
UNC.
C, UNC,
Yeah, UNC.
which
He
is
doesn't
three
like
letters that Adam Vingan hates to say.
Exactly.
I was just about to say that. Justin says the word fire to describe something that's amazing has to be said by a cool young person. I try to say it and I just can't pull it off. I am way too old, nerdy, or something.
So we can't say this show is fire.
I feel like Willy tried to say something hip once recently and it,
It
did
didn't
not
fall
land.
over. Well,
I can't remember what it was though.
I don't think that's the case. I think I worked it in perfectly with the situation.
I could just see Willie as like a chaperone at Evie's prom or something like
Well,
that.
no, the way it works now is when her crew invites me out, which happened on Saturday. It
Oh,
was a
okay,
fun night,
cool.
I need to have a chaperone.
Okay.
So there needs to be another grown up in the mix somewhere.
Okay.
But they're kind of grown up now, so they're like, some of them are like, you don't need one. We're grown ups. Others are like Evie's like, Dad, can you bring another person your age? Just so we're, and I'm like, what are you talking about? What?
I'm imagining Willy.
They want to balance it all
We're gonna
out.
balance
really.
it out. I need a wingman or wing person.
Because they get to talk about things that are just gonna go right over your
Right,
head.
right.
It's gonna be sitting.
But I appreciate them involving me.
Willy, I imagine Willy by the jukebox, like the Fonz.
Oh yeah. We got to get good music going. Like I contribute to the night. Like I'm helping out.
So he's the
I'm
guy.
helping
He's
keep
the guy
the-
with all the coins.
Keep the party at a nice level.
So
wherever we are.
So both Willy and my mother are much cooler than me. That's what we've learned in this verse.
Pretty much so.
615-737-1025. Love you, Mom. 615-737-1025. Coming up next, Tom Brady had some interesting comments about wide receivers. And I thought, who better to ask about those comments than the wide receiver sitting to my right? 615-737-1025. This Sunday, 1025 The Game will have live coverage of the Borchetta Bourbon Music City Grand Prix race at the Nashville Superspeedway. Coverage begins at 5 p.m. and is brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical, and Big Shots in downtown Nashville.
All right, let's talk about our friends at Twice Daily. And hope you're getting the lingo down now because we have been throwing this out there. We're thrilled to have Twice Daily aboard as a sponsor in our station. And we want to make sure that all of our listeners have the word on the Twice Daily rewards program. You can unlock those special discounts. The more you go, the more you're going to save. You enter in sweepstakes if you like. There's all kinds of perks. So every time that you go to Twice Daily, it pays to be a member. You save money with every visit. So if you're looking for convenience, Twice Daily has you covered. If you're out and about, make sure when you stop off at the convenience store Be consistent. Go to Twice Daily. And if you're a member of that Twice Daily Rewards program, you're going to see those benefits. It's Twice Daily. Fresh all day.
That's the only position on offense that requires a lot of extra energy and attention because the running backs are going to touch the ball. The line, they're going to be engaged in every play. The tight ends, runner pass, you're going to be engaged in every play. It's the receivers who stand, 25 yards from the ball, just talking smack with the
whole time,
trying to figure out, all right, I ran my ass off and didn't get the ball. And how do I stay locked in and committed to the team when I don't touch the ball? And it's a hard thing. Like they're working hard to get the ball and they don't get it. So they get frustrated so easy. And I almost think like when I see these NFL off seasons, I swear to God, I think now like this is just deja vu. I've been seeing the same since 2000 when I came into the league. This guy this guy gets in trouble. He's arrested. This guy gets cut. This guy gets traded. This guy's unhappy at receiver. You know what I mean? It's like it's like Real Housewives of the NFL, and it's like it's the same script, and it's like.
That was Tom Brady on the New Heights podcast, of course, with Travis and Jason Kelsey, Willy Donick, Derek Mason, Adam Vingan here with you. Willy is in charge of the music today. He has not told us the theme. We have to guess.
You have to figure it out. And you won't get it now. You need to have, good listening skills. And we're going to see who gets it first, Adam or Derek, the connection between all of the songs.
Okay.
That's it.
So I'm not giving out any hints. It's actually 90s.
Is it 90s?
And this one is, yeah. But I'm not going to hand out hints because that would give it away. That would take a lot of the fun away.
Mid-90s?
That's incorrect.
Can we tell them the name of this song?
No,
at least?
no, we're not giving out names of the song.
Okay.
No, because that would be too easy. It would make it too easy. I want these guys to work for for today's championship and focus in on this sub. And to our listeners out there, play along at home. Play along at home.
Theme. Okay.
615
the connection between the songs you hear.
Okay.
1025. All right, Derek, you heard Tom Brady there. Receiver drama is like Real Housewives of the NFL. I'm curious for your opinion. Do you think receiver drama is Well, it depends on your definition of better. Like, is it better now than it was during your playing career? Is there more drama? Is there less drama? Where do you stand on what Tom Brady said to the Kelsey brothers?
I think it's more prevalent now with social media, because things that you may have gotten a glimpse of on a sideline or a reporter reported it in the papers, and this is what happened possibly on the sideline in the locker room. Now you have individual guys are coming out themselves talking about, whether they're, not pleased with how many times they're getting targeted during a particular game or during the year, to the head coach, to a system not working, to I want more money. So he's right in the sense of this has been happening. Now he did say some stuff in there like getting arrested, but he didn't say that was wide receivers. I think he was just saying the NFL as a whole, which every sport, you're going to see the same thing. And he's right. It's like deja vu, groundhog. You're going to see the same stuff every year. You just hope some of it sort of diminishes to a point where those things are not headliners, which we know is not going to happen. But from a receiver standpoint, he's right, because we are the only position outside of the offensive line. And the offensive line, they don't care about touching the football, so it don't matter to them. Outside of us, maybe the tight end. So in today's world, tight end, I equate them, kind of connect them with the wide receivers. We are the only people that majority of the time, it's only one football for one. And majority of the time, we're just running good routes to try to get open. And even though we may run a route and get open, we may not be targeted. Whereas the running back, he knows he's going to get the ball no matter what. If it's a dive, a counter, whatever, he's the guy getting the ball. If it's, I write, 776 post, I don't know who's getting the ball. It's called for me, but that guy over there may get the ball. So because we go out there and we run in and I said the wide receiver position, you need to be the most conditioned player on the field. Why? Because we never stop running. Never. We run on blocking plays. We got to run back to the huddle. Even if you ran a 50-yard route, you got to run back. Then you got to get set. So we're constantly running and battling. And when you do that for a long period of time, Tom's right. You got to find, it's more of a psychological thing, wide receivers. It doesn't happen all the time, but you got to force yourself to stay engaged in the game when you're not being targeted. That's why I said, when guys in the first half, you got your number one wide receiver, you got to target them.
Two things. First, Tom Brady, in that same answer, we did not clip it. He said this, quote, I almost want to say, like, you're going to catch 110 balls this year, okay? 17 games. You're a great receiver. You're going to catch 110 balls. One game, you're going to get 11, and one game, you're going to get 3. And the next game, you're probably going to get 11, then you're going to get 3. I can't have you like the happiest guy in the world when you catch 11 or the most miserable guy on the team when you catch 3.
I think that's a great mindset, and I think it's part of the quarterback's job. It's also part of the offensive coordinator's job, all of that, to manage that, because that's not an easy thing, I'm sure. So that was my favorite line of the whole piece, is that mentality of trying to make sure you stay connected with your receivers, because that's such a big thing. But Derek, I want to ask this question. To me, this is the question. Are wide receivers divas because of the nature of the position, or do divas gravitate towards being wide receivers?
I think it's just like money. I think, what money does is it reveal who you truly are. It doesn't make you who you are. It just comes out of you. The more money you get, we'll really know who the type of person you are. I think playing a wide receiver position, some are more divas than others. Some, it takes them a lot to get worked up. For me, that was me. It took me a lot to get worked up as far as, hey, I need to be a part of the offense. Some people, if you don't target them, they're going off. It just don't matter. So I think
would they go off even if they're playing running back? That's what I wonder.
No,
are they just people that are wired to go off, or is it just because of what you said with the wide receivers? You're doing a lot of running. You might only get the ball 3 times.
There's only one ball. It's not like basketball where everybody get an opportunity to touch the ball at least once coming down.
Because we've said this a lot. Some of the best wide receivers, I think, are part of the reason why they're great wide receivers is because they're like that, because they're always like, hey, I was open on that play. And they demand the ball. As long as it doesn't infiltrate and bring the rest of the group down, that's not a bad trait to have, right?
No,
that belief that I'm going to be open every time.
I would rather have a person that wants the football, that showed he can make a play when he gets the football, than a guy that doesn't say anything. I want a guy that, hey, listen, I want to be a part of the offense, not in a destructive way, but like, hey, listen, you know what I can do when I get the ball, so you need to give it to me. Because what people fail to realize, you can be forgotten about in the game because how the game is going. You, as a player, that's why it's only one football, and it's 2, maybe 3 wide receivers. So, yeah, it's like, man, we got to fend for one another. We got to fight for one another. I'm not going to get upset. I'm not upset at, say, if Kevin Dyson caught 8 balls and I caught 2. I'm not mad at Kevin Dyson at all. I'm happy he caught 8, but I'm like, I'm over here. And if it's happened more than once, and if it started to become a pattern, guys know how this league works. If they don't target you, they will forget about you.
I also have an observation, and I would love Willie and Derek to see if you agree with me. I do feel like the quote-unquote diva wide receiver isn't entirely a thing of the past, but I don't know if it's as prevalent today as it was 10, 15, 20 years ago. When you think of diva wide receivers this millennium, you think of T.O., Keyshawn Johnson, Chad Ochocinco, players like that. Who are the quote-unquote diva wide receivers today? I feel like they're not as prevalent, or maybe they are being divas in different ways.
I don't know. I think there's plenty of them.
I think there are enough, because we see it just about every year. It may not be done in a fashion that it used to be done, but it's still being done as receivers. You will know if a receiver is unhappy. He will tell you either through a tweet or X, whatever you call it.
But nobody's doing
a subliminal thing.
Nobody's doing sit-ups in the driveway like Terrell Owens did. Who did
sit-ups the last time? I think somebody did do it after T.O. God, what receiver was that? Was it DJ Jackson?
Deshaun Jackson.
T.O. was.
It might have been Deshaun Jackson. It was Antonio Brown.
Yes,
that's another guy.
Antonio Brown would certainly qualify as a diva.
Yes.
Oh my God!
Among other things.
Yes,
T.O. was kind of like a pre-social media diva, or right at the edge. Like as his career went on, is when social media started to rise. So the divas pre-social media had an extra challenge. But Stephon Diggs, wouldn't he be a diva? A.J. Brown, obviously, is a diva.
Yeah.
And by the way, to your point, Willie, that response from Tom Brady that we played from the New Heights podcast was in response to a question about A.J.
Brown. DeAndre Hopkins, do you think he's got at least part diva, right? He had his sort of almost passive-aggressive way of being a diva for the Titans in the limited time he was there.
Yeah, and that's why I said, guys, typically, it's still being done. It's more prevalent because of social media. But the same things guys are doing now, guys were doing then. Some guys did it from a way that it was, more out there. Some did it more so in a passive aggressive way. But because a lot of these guys got their own platforms, you start to hear about it more and more, and the money's much greater. So these guys are out here and they see, one guy get some money, they're going to come out. They feel I need to be targeted more. It's a contract year, or they will tend to complain.
Don't you think I think you could argue there's more diva-like behavior now than there was. Now, Tom Brady's argument seems to be it's consistent. It's always been there. It's just the matter of how it's going to manifest itself. I think it's at least as big now. So I go the other way from Adam. I'm just thinking others. Remember the whole thing when A.J. Brown started the whole process.
The whole baseball.
There were a number of other. Yeah, he went and hit baseballs in the batting cages, and he sort of teamed up with Deebo Samuel and some other guys that needed contracts. Brandon Ayuk, you don't think he's a diva?
Multiple people have chimed in, including one texter who said, LMAO, did Adam forget about Brandon Ayuk? Yes, I concede. Brandon Ayuk certainly acting
but
like a diva right now.
It's I think it's, as Derek has pointed out, it's a combination of a lot of money's on the line. It's the nature of the position, which is a big part of it. It can draw people in. And now with the social media factor, I think it's as big as it's ever been.
If there were 4 footballs on the field, you wouldn't hear no complaining. No complaining whatsoever. Everything be peachy creamy. Even if they didn't get the ball, everything can still be peachy creamy. But because there's only one football, players, more so wide receivers, because they all can be divas. Listen, running backs can be divas, tight ends, linebackers, we all can be divas at times. The only ones that are not divas are the offensive line. Those are the only guys on the field that are really truly not divas. But everybody else in this business can be a diva. But receivers know and understand. Listen, if there were 4 balls on the field, if I didn't catch a ball, I'm still complaining. It's the nature of the position. It's the nature of especially those that warrant these big contracts, because in their mind, listen, you paid me to do a job. Now you need to, make sure that each and every week that I'm a part of the offense. You got to have a strong quarterback. You got to have a alpha quarterback in order to sort of mitigate a lot of what goes on the team, especially at the wide receiver position, because as a quarterback, there's only one ball. And even if the defense, sort of rotates your way and I got to throw it to the other guy, if it happens too many times, I know I'm going to be hearing you on the other side of the bench, not necessarily toward me, but on the other side of the bench with the OC or the quarterback's coach or the receivers coach saying, I'm not getting the ball.
Julio Jones, would he be diva?
Oh,
I can remember some diva moments. Think with Julio Jones.
I never knew. Listen, he played in Atlanta for so long.
Yeah.
I never knew Julio as a diva guy. Maybe those that are in Atlanta.
We definitely did not get the full Julio Jones experience.
Nah, he was.
But I remember he didn't practice. There was really mysterious stuff with him. That and then there was some sulking on the sideline, if I remember correctly. But here's another, just last question on this. Derek, you played with a lot of quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. Who do you think was the best you played with the managing of the diva factor, right? If like the quarterback's coming off the field, he knows 1 or 2 guys are going to come out and say, hey, look for me on that play. Mm-hmm. And like you said, it's part of the quarterback's job. So who do you think was the best that you played?
Especially with a young quarterback. There's only so many times you want to go to a young quarterback and try to tell him, when to throw you the ball. You want to allow him to read the game himself. There may be a time, and I've done it, where I was wide open. It was 3rd down. It was like, dude, you got to give me the ball. Joe and I got in an argument, but it was squashed after that. But it was only in those moments. Steve was the best at managing it because, one, he had been in the offense for a while. He's a leader on our team, but he just knew a way of making sure that everybody, from myself to Kevin to Drew to Chris, we had an opportunity to get the football. Now, how many didn't call it or how Les Steckel called it, that was a different story. But it wasn't like he totally favored one guy over another.
615-737-1025. Coming up next, Turron Davenport, ESPN NFL Nation Titans reporter, will join the program. We'll get into the Titans with TD coming up next. 615-737-1025. Willy Donick, Derek Mason, Adam Vingan, 1025 The Game.
All right, let's talk Loan Pronto. Yes, we've got it going here. If you have a 2, 3, or 4% mortgage rate, don't refinance it. You don't have to. But if you need cash, you can still get cash out of your home's equity. So introducing Loan Pronto's zero-cost equity loan. With Loan Pronto, you can get all the cash you need without touching your first mortgage and without any fees. That's important. For example, one local homeowner got $100,000 out of his home's equity, paid off the credit card bills, paid off existing HELOC, and remodeled their kitchen and saved over $1,500 a month in the process. So there's no hard credit pull up front, usually no appraisal, no long drawn out process, and no closing costs. You might even be able to skip your next 2 house payments. So if that sounds good to your budget, so call Loan Pronto. Just dial them up right now at 615-499-5780 or go to loanpronto.com. See how much you can get right now. See how much you can save. 615-499-5780 or loanpronto.com. For qualified homeowners, equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
DMase, Vingan and Donick, 102.5. The Game. Willie Donick, Derek Mason, Adam Vingan here with you. Let's go to our phone line.
Just make sure.
Catch the song.
Process the song. Play along at home. What's the link?
Okay.
Turron can play too.
He can.
He needs to distract himself, just like me, from the fact that the Mets have continued to go south. They blew another one yesterday. Got swept by the Red Sox. A merciful end to the pre-All-Star break.
We did not mean to bring in Turron Davenport on a sour note.
No, I'm trying to turn his attention to the song.
Willie did that.
I think Turron will appreciate that song. Cool in the Gang, right?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Cool in the Gang. That's grown folk music, man.
Yes.
Makes me feel like I'm that little kid coming down the steps. My parents are playing cards, and I get slapped for coming down, getting in grown folk music, man, in business. You know how it goes.
I prefer to say timeless music, TD. Timeless,
Yeah,
not old.
It's timeless. Well, no. You could be grown and not old. You
Yes.
could be grown.
Fair. Okay, I'm going to start using that. I'm grown, not old.
Wise words.
Yeah.
Wise words from Turron Davenport. Now, TD, I don't think we've spoken to you since ESPN.com's list of the top 10 defensive tackles came out, compiled by your colleague, Jeremy Fowler. A lot of hubbub around here about Jeffrey Simmons being number 2 on the list behind Leonard Williams. What were your thoughts on Simmons' placement on that list?
I thought it devalued the whole list, to be honest with you. Jeffrey Simmons is the best interior defensive lineman, and I'm not going to have a conversation about it, pretty much. So it is what it is. They misread that one. I don't know who the fools are that decided to not vote him number 1, but that's their business, and it is what it is.
Later today, I guess in the middle of the night, the latest season of Quarterback premieres on Netflix. So when y'all wake up in the morning, all, I believe, 8 episodes will be there for you on Netflix. Of course, it's going to feature Cam Ward. And TD, I know you will be watching Quarterback. What do you hope to see from Cam Ward in this behind-the-scenes documentary?
Yeah, I hope to see some myself. Actually, no, I'm kidding. I hope to see a lot.
You might make an appearance.
It's very likely, but I hope to see his work ethic. I hope that's exposed, because there were different times where I remember him working after practice with Josh Shaw, the assistant speed and strength coach, and they were on that box, the 1080 box, and he's working on that. I saw him running wind sprints. He would always be there at practice. Whenever he spoke, we always had to wait a bit longer than normal because he's getting his work in. So I hope that part is shown, because there's this attitude, or not attitude, but opinion or perspective of him that he's entitled and spoiled. But in fact, he is actually a very hard worker. So I hope that's shown.
Now, Turron, Jeff was named as the number 2 defensive interior guy. And there are maybe 2 or 3 more positions left. But when they named interior offensive lineman, Peter Skoronski was number 9. Is that about where you see him at number 9? And then the follow-up question is, who do you expect to be on that list next year? Or who has an opportunity to be on that list next year that isn't from the Titans?
That isn't from the Titans right now?
No, that isn't on the list, but are playing for the Titans.
Yeah, no, I knew what you meant. I can't see anybody being on that list next year. I tell you what, though, Alontae Taylor was an honorable mention. So that is one. If you got somebody that you want to throw out there, that's one, because he did get honorable mention. But, I think Skoronski came in right where he needed to be. I would imagine, as he continues to get better, he's going to elevate even more. He got the contract coming up, too. So that's going to help, give him a little more notoriety, so to speak, and some cachet. So I think Skoronski will elevate even higher. But he's just been a solid player. And he's the one, no question, on the offensive line.
Now, when you just mentioned the contract situation, or it's not a situation, but they're going to have to get something done soon here. Do you think they're going to get it done before the season starts, or do you think they're going to quickly get it done after?
I think it's going to be right before or early in camp. I think that's similar to the Taylor Lewan situation, when he signed his contract. I think that's how they're going to do it. They got to get ahead of it, because guards are continuing to have their salaries escalated. And Skoronski, it's going to be a big number. You know what I mean? So Titans fans just have to be ready for it. But he's been earmarked as one of the guys that is their better young talent that they want to make sure they retain. Mike Bergonzi said that himself. So it'll happen at some point.
Turron Davenport is with us. We're talking football with him. And Turron, on the ESPN site, they did a really good thing breaking down the quarterbacks, and we're going to do that our own way in a little bit later segment of the show. But I'm just curious your thought. And the one that caught my attention, you tell me, Caleb Williams got the nod in their rankings at number 10 above guys like Sam Darnold, Jaden Daniels, Jordan Love, Brock Purdy, Baker Mayfield. And even Trevor Lawrence. These are honorable mentions. That surprised me a little bit, but tell me what you're seeing there with the growth of Caleb Williams.
Yeah, I mean, Caleb Williams has become a clutch player for the Bears, and I get what they're saying as far as him being a top guy, but it is hard to, exclude Sam Darnold. I mean, Sam Darnold, they won a Super Bowl with him as the quarterback, right? So how they excluded him, I'm not sure, but I mean, look, one of these guys, they're not going to be in it. But you look at Caleb Williams, I think when you consider what he was able to do for the Bears, in that clutch moment, that the throw to DJ Moore rather, I think that was major. And I mean, he's a guy that you got to give him his credit. And it's just those lists. There's always going to be somebody that is left off, and they're made for conversation, and that's pretty much what it is, and that's what it's developing.
We were listening to a podcast on The Athletic, actually. It was just a discussion of the fact that Sam Darnold now is a Super Bowl ring. There have been a couple of non-top 10 offenses. Ironically, one was the Chiefs a couple years ago that won the Super Bowl without a top 10 offense. It was really Mahomes carrying the load. But the question was just sort of philosophically being asked, are we going to enter into a cycle in the coming years where you might see more Sam Darnold quarterback type teams where you have a really good quarterback capable of greatness, but not what you would call the Joe Burrow, Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen type? Do you think it's more possible now than it was, say, 10, 12 years ago to win a Super Bowl without somebody who's a superstar QB?
Yeah, I think it is possible, but it has to be the right situation where you have a team that is very well fortified around that quarterback. And you still got to get good play from that quarterback. Because, I mean, you look at the Vikings, man, they have a really good team, but their quarterback just, didn't play well. And you look a couple years ago before Darnold left and went to Seattle, right? They were very, very strong. And Darnold, he didn't do his job, right, in the playoffs, against the Rams. And you saw what happened. So I think when you look at it, I think it was against the Rams. I don't remember exactly which team, but it was. He came up short. Yeah, it was the Rams. Okay, good. I need to start trusting myself. But yeah, I think when you have these teams that are able to build around a quarterback or just build before they drop a quarterback in there, it happens. Like, don't be surprised if the Vikings are really good this year with Kyler Murray, or even, you look at the Falcons with whoever ends up being the quarterback. If it's Tua and he's able to, have a redemption type of season with them.
We had a really good conversation too about a hypothetical vision of if Cam Ward doesn't reach that superstar elite status and he is just a solid quarterback in the mold of a Sam Darnold, what would the rest of the roster need to look like to win a championship? How would you answer that question, TD?
I mean, it's going to have to look really strong. And I think it starts with the defense. They have to have a superb defense, and you got to have an offensive playmaker, like someone that could really step up and help elevate the quarterback. I think that's really what it comes down to. Those are the most important pieces.
Now, Turron, we had a conversation about diva wide receivers. Tom Brady was on the New Heights podcast with the Kelsey brothers, and he talked about how, it's basically Groundhog's Day. There was divas back then. There's divas now. what do you classify as a diva? Because I mean, we all know the TOs, but and I can go even deeper with Freddie Mitchell and him saying he has the best hands in the world. You were down there during that period. But what do you classify as a diva receiver?
Hey, man, my boy Freddie didn't have to catch a stray, man. Come on. Leave Fred X alone.
Freddie was funny
man.
about
his,
man.
Homie, man. Yeah, but no, I think, here's the thing. I feel like just as receivers, it's always all eyes on me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think receivers, it's just there's a personality type where even if you're not someone who is having a fit and a temper tantrum and all that. I think even if you're not someone that's doing that, you still have that diva mindset, just that thirst for attention, and you want to make things happen. I think that's really what it comes down to. And it's funny because I remember Corey Davis when I first it was 2019. I remember I was telling Corey he needed to demand the football more, and he was like, "Oh well, I don't want to be." a diva. I don't want to cause problems. I said, hey, man, let me tell you something. Terrell Owens had 22 receptions in the game, and he set the record, and they beat the Bears. But there was a guy on the other side whining and complaining about not getting enough targets, and they won. You know who that guy was? He was like, who? I said, Jerry Rice. I said, you think Jerry Rice is a diva? He said, no. Exactly. My point.
Turron Davenport has been our guest on DMase. Vin Gnadonic. He joins us every Monday, and he is presented by Bart Durham Injury Law. TD, as always, a pleasure. We'll catch up next week.
All right, appreciate you guys, and go Mets. Well, I guess I could say go Soto.
It's about all we got. And Soto as a hitter. I mean, out the outfield, I don't know if he's helping us much, TD. He's having a little problem out there, but he always has.
615-737-1025. All right, coming up next, it's time to place your bets. Figuratively, of course. I've got 5 bets on the Tennessee Titans, and I'm going to give you some imaginary scratch to bet on these bets that I've made. We'll explain the rules coming up next. 615-737-1025. We are broadcasting from the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. DMase, Vingan, and Donick, 102.5 The Game. Willie Donick, Derek Mason, Adam Vingan, and Connor Newt here with you. During the break, we did receive a text message for Willie Donick. Was the hat ever found? Unfortunately, the hat is gone. Have we received the security footage? Now that Chase McCabe is back in the building, have we received the security footage?
No. I would love to find it just for once and for all, just for closure.
Yes. Peace of mind.
Because I'm going right now with the DMase theory that I took it off, put it on the top of my car. I took my pullover off, threw it in the car, and then got into the car and left the hat on the top of the car. That is what I believe is the best explanation. Where it is, I don't know, but I would like the closure of being able to see me ride be some good comic relief. Me driving the car off with the red hat on the top of the car. That's what we feel like happened, but we can't verify it without the security footage. So I do need to proceed to correspondent McCabe, who was back, and see if we can find it.
All right. So we're going to use this hour to place some bets, figurative bets. I'm not asking you to actually part with your hard-earned money, nor am I giving you money because I am not Mr. Monopoly. But here's how we're going to do this. I have come up with 5 prop bets. I guess you can call them prop bets for the Tennessee Titans. And I'm giving everybody, again, figuratively, $100. And you can place as much money on each of these prop bets as you want. In fact, if you want to skip a prop bet altogether because you think it's a fool's bet, you can. But you have to bet all 100 of your figurative dollars. So how should we do this? Should I read through them first just to give everybody a heads up of what they are, and then we'll go one by one?
I think reading through them.
Okay. So here are the 5 bets you can, again, figuratively place on the Tennessee Titans. You have $100. You've got to place all $100 across these 5 bets. Bet number 1. The Tennessee Titans will double their win total from last season, which means they will win at least 6 games. By the way, the over-under for wins at DraftKings Sportsbook, 6.5. So bet number 1, the Titans double their win total from last season. So they win at least 6 games this coming season. Bet number 2, Cam Ward improves his completion percentage by at least 5 percentage points. So he has to finish next season with a completion percentage of at least 64.8%. He was at 59.8% last season. Will he improve his completion percentage by at least 5 percentage points? Bet number 3, someone other than Carnell Tate leads the Tennessee Titans in receiving touchdowns. Again, someone other than Carnell Tate leads the Titans in receiving touchdowns. Bet number 4, Jeffrey Simmons records at least double-digit sacks for a second consecutive season. He had a career-high 11 this past season. So does Jeffrey Simmons record at least 10 sacks in his first season under Robert Saleh?
So he doesn't have to lead the team. He just has to get 10.
He has to get 10. And number 5, the Titans will go at least 3-3 in the AFC South. So there are your 5 bets. 1, the Titans double their win total from last season. 2, Cam Ward improves his completion percentage by at least 5 percentage points. 3, someone other than Carnell Tate leads the Titans in receiving touchdowns. 4, Jeffrey Simmons records at least 10 sacks. 5, the Titans will go at least 3-3 in the AFC South. Now, again, here's the wrinkle.
I've got my little sheet right now.
You've got to bet all 100.
Divvying up my money, my budget.
You've got to bet all $100. But if you don't think it's worth betting on one of these, you don't have to. So if you want to place, for example, if you want to bet 70 of your $100 that Jeffrey Simmons records at least 10 sacks next season, you can. If you leave one of these bets off your list, that's fine. You've just got to spend all 100 of your figurative dollars.
Is there a minimum of like $5 or $2 or?
No.
Okay, so you can go whatever you want.
Bet to your heart's content.
Okay. as long as you end up with no more than 100 on the board.
Correct.
Okay.
I'll take things teammates of Brennan Sorsby said for 500, Alex.
There you go.
All right.
This is not meant to be a reenactment, but I'm sure these kinds of discussions took place.
All right. So let's start with the one at the top.
Mhm.
Place your bets. The Titans double their win total from last season. So they win at least 6 games in 2026. The Titans, of course, have won 6 total games over the past 2 seasons, but their over-under at DraftKings Sportsbook has been set at 6.5. Willy Donick, how much of your figurative money are you betting on the Titans doubling their win total next season?
I think based on, Vegas, based on the parity of the league, the way the league's designed, based on the degree of difficulty of last year's schedule, the newness of the coaching staff, I think this is a pretty good bet. I'm not going too hard in with this because I still think the roster is leaving a lot to be desired, but I'm going to bet $35 out of my 100.
Okay.
I'm going to say I'm in on that for $35.
All right, Derek.
Oh, man. This one I thought about. And this one, honestly, it was like, okay, this one was going to pretty much tell me what I was going to do with it, the rest of them.
Right.
This team, I think, is a much better team. Now, based upon the production of the guys they brought in last year and what we project the rookies to do coming in this season, and Cam Ward and the offensive coordinator, everything. So we have a bunch of new stuff. But even with those new things, there comes optimism. So with a bolstered wide receiver core, a sort of revamped tight end core, 2 backs that are back in with this quarterback. So and then I looked at the league as far as how many of these guys are in their mid to upper 60s when you're talking about completion percentage. And can a guy, increase, 5 points or 10 points in the quarterback at the completion percentage? And I came up with putting $40 on Cam Ward. $40 on the
6 wins.
6 wins for them to win 6 wins because
40.
There are a lot of new things that are working in the Titans' favor.
Okay.
Like I said,
So
new offensive coordinator,
Mhm.
new receiver,
Mhm.
better team, better defense. I just think this team is going to be a much better team than what they were last year.
So Willy,
and
you are
even the year
putting
before that.
$35 of your $100 on the Titans doubling their win total. Derek is
Right.
putting 40.
And so you have to bet on what you're putting, right? I can't
Yes.
say bet that they're not, right? I'm saying
Yes,
I'm
You're betting that they will.
Yeah. So I feel like, since the over under in Vegas is the 6.5, you're getting, that's not anything great shakes. That's less than Vegas, close to what Vegas thinks they're going to do. So I think 35 is good. Because I'm still a little, but 35, okay.
Derek is betting 40. I am hedging my bets. I am betting $25 on the Tennessee Titans to double their win total from last season. I looked up the lines for the games the Titans are playing this season. They are favored in only 2 games this season. Week 1 at home against the Jets and week 7 at home against the Browns. But there are 4 games, all of which are in the latter part of the season, in which the Titans are 1.5-point underdogs. So I consider those toss-up games. Those games, by the way, week 13 versus Washington, week 15 versus Indianapolis, week 16 at Las Vegas, and week 17 versus Pittsburgh. So I see a path for the Titans to double their win total. But I'm wary of strength of schedule because last season, according to Warren Sharp, and Warren Sharp doesn't do the NFL thing where he looks at the combined winning percentage of your opponents from the year before. He looks at the futures odds. Last season, the Titans had the toughest actual strength of schedule in the NFL at the end of the season. That wasn't what was projected, but at the end of the season, the Tennessee Titans ended up having the hardest strength of schedule in the NFL. So although there seem to be a lot of winnable games on the schedule, I'm a bit wary of it. So I'm not ruling it out, but I am not going as confidently as the two of you. So I will say $25 on the Titans to double their win total. Connor, what about you?
I am very confident about this. However, there are more things that you listed that I am more confident in. So I'll meet you all right in the middle. I'll bet $30 on the Titans to double their win total.
Okay, so Willie 35, Derek 40, me 25, Connor 30. Interesting. Okay. Prop bet number 2. Cam Ward improves his completion percentage by at least 5 percentage points. Now, I will give all of you out there a little hint. If you break up Cam Ward's season pre-bye week and post-bye week, pre-bye week, he had a completion percentage of 57.6. Post-bye, he had a completion percentage of 62.4, a difference of 4.8 percentage points. So I'm asking you, over the course of the entire season, will Cam Ward improve his completion percentage from last season by at least 5 percentage points? Willie?
I thought right off the bat, this is a little bit of a tough ask. Improving by 5 percentage points is pretty significant. I still see big holes in the roster. I think there's a scenario where they struggle early as Carnell Tate adapts to becoming what you hope will be into a really good wide receiver. So this one I'm not touching. I'm going 0. I'm not putting any money.
Oh, Willie skipping it completely.
I don't think it's a good bet. I think my resources are better spent on other categories.
Okay.
I'm not touching it.
So Willie is skipping.
Not touching it.
Cam Ward's completion percentage outright.
He passed on that.
Derek Mason.
Oh, man. I think he's more the second half Cam Ward than he was the first half Cam Ward. With that being said, I think Dable is going to, he's about getting completions, moving the ball down the field. Take your shots when you can, but we're going to work the field and do it that way, which to me is going to allow for his completion rating to go, percentage to go up. So I am betting, and obviously with the new receivers, I am betting $15 that Cam Ward improves his completion percentage by 5 points or more.
Okay.
5 points.
I will place a modest $10 on Cam Ward improving his completion percentage by at least 5 percentage points. As I said, if you compare pre-bye to post-bye, Cam Ward improved his completion percentage by 4.8 percentage points. So nearly 5. If you round up, it's 5. I'm hoping with more competent offensive coaching led by Brian Dable, Carnell Tate, Wan'Dale Robinson, hopefully for the Titans, a breakout from Gunnar Helm. I think there's enough there for Cam Ward to improve that. We've talked so much about his accuracy. And look, 64.8% completion rate, that's still middle of the road, I would assume, in the NFL. But I think there's enough around Cam Ward that he can make that progress. But I'm not going to put all of my money on it. I'm not going to skip it outright like Willie did. $10 on Cam Ward improving his completion percentage by at least 5 percentage points. Connor?
In my days as a child at Subway, they had this thing called the $5 footlong.
Who could forget?
You could get a good bargain for the $5 footlong. I'm with Willie. I don't think this is a very safe bet. 5 whole percentage points for a quarterback who obviously is improving, but percentage points in the NFL, especially in completion percentage, are bigger than you'd think. So I am petitioning a $5 footlong, aka $5 on Cam Ward to improve his completion percentage. Not going to skip it outright, but I still don't like the bet that much.
So you're giving up a potential opportunity at a $5.
I'm giving up a lunch.
But if you win, you could get 2 or 3 feet worth of subs.
That is true.
Yeah.
615-737-1025. All right, Titans fans, place your bets.
By the way, 64.8% would be top 20. It would be right cracking the top 20 based on last year.
So
last year's 64.9 was Jacoby Brissett of Arizona, and he ranked 18th in the category.
Is that someone with a number amount of
it's minimum of, I think, 8 games started is what I've got there. Yeah. 615-737-1025.
All right, Titans fans, here are the bets. I'm giving you 100, fake dollars. Bet on these 5 things as you choose. You could be like Willy and forget one, or not forget one, but choose not to bet one completely. But you do have to bet all $100. Again, here are your 5 bets. Number 1, the Titans double their win total from last season, so at least 6 wins. 2, Cam Ward improves his completion percentage by at least 5 percentage points. 3, someone other than Carnell Tate leads the Titans in receiving touchdowns. 4, Jeffrey Simmons records at least 10 sacks. 5, the Titans will go at least 3-3 in the AFC South. 615-737-1025. Willy, Donick, Derek, Mason, Adam, Vingen, 1025 The Game. DMase, Vingan and Donick, 1025 The Game. Willy, Donick, Derek Mason, Adam Vingan here with you. Placing our bets.
So you still have no guess on the
No.
the link of the 3 songs.
I do not have a guess yet.
Do you care?
I'm going to try.
Trying. Are you writing these down?
I don't
So you had the Gap Band.
know all of
Who
the
was
songs
first
off the
one?
top of my head.
Okay. See, this is part of the problem.
Yes.
It's
Connor,
not
do
too
we need
hard,
to?
guys.
Do we need to? It's very
Well,
easy.
excuse me.
It's very easy.
Right.
Nope.
Disco.
Focus on the
theme.
words.
Theme.
Okay,
That might help. That's
Too
all.
hot,
That's all the hits we're
weather
gonna
too
get.
hot.
Yeah.
I mean, one said too hot, baby. Is it hot outside?
Yes, it is. I'm not sure that's the answer. He's looking for.
July, so yeah. Rainy. Yeah.
I'll keep thinking.
Keep
on it.
thinking.
All right. So this is what we're doing. I have come up with 5 prop bets for y'all to place on the Titans. I'm giving you 100 fake dollars. You've got to spend all $100, but you do not have to spend all $100 across all 5 bets. So for example, one of the bets, Cam Ward improves, his completion percentage by at least 5 percentage points. Willy Donick decided not to bet any money on that. So you don't have to bet on all of them, but it does have to add up at the end to $100. And Willy, you had a note about the completion percentage.
Yeah, part of my thinking, I was 5% is a pretty good leap.
Mhm.
And Cam Ward was 31st last year, 59.8. Were he to get over 64.5, the league average last year was 64.3. So we're talking he would need to jump to league average, which would be a really nice year 1 to year 2 stat. Not that completion percentage is the end all be all, but it's an important ingredient.
Let's get to some of your reaction before we continue. 615-737-1025. Paul in the Borough says he's betting $5 on doubling the win total, $30 on Jeffrey Simmons recording at least double-digit sacks, $45 on the touchdown reception leader, the receiving touchdown leader, being someone other than Cardell Tate, $10 on 3 or 3 or better in the division, and another $10 on a 5 percentage point increase in completion percentage. Justin in Greenbrier says, I am going 50 on them doubling their wins. I think they go 8 or 9. Call me super optimistic. I will. Caleb is betting $60 on the Tennessee Titans doubling their win total next season. $5 on Cam Ward improving his completion percentage, $10 on someone other than Carnell Tate leading the Titans in receiving touchdowns, $15 on Jeffrey Simmons, 10+ sacks, and another $10 on the Titans going 3-3 in the AFC South. Let's go to our phone line driven by WilsonCountyHunting.com and welcome in Jack. Jack, thank you for calling and waiting. Please go ahead.
Thank you. I want to just say thanks for taking my call there. Willie's right about that 5%. That's a big jump. I am a gambling man, so I actually lean towards the better sides of the bets. And I've kind of taken his, look on that. There's actually 2 categories. I would just split it 50-50. 50, they will double their game totals, and they will go 50 plus 50 on that. They will go 3-3 in their division.
Thank you, Jack.
Okay.
So 50-50. Jack is betting 50 on the Titans doubling their win total and another 50 on the Titans going at least 3-3 in the AFC South. Let's go to Mike in Gallatin on our phone line. Mike, thank you for calling. Place your bets, my friend.
All right, so I'm going to go with a little bit more of a wacky take on this all. I want to go against everything that you guys just said. You guys be the experts and put all $100 because, again, I like having a big return. So consider it like I'll get a good birthday present or I'll just continue to not get anything for myself besides socks and stuff for my kids. $100 on Cam Ward increasing himself by 5%.
Impressive.
I think what I want that to happen so badly because I fear that if we do not see a massive improvement just like that, then our win total will not be that good. And we'll be right back into that discussion of spending a 2027 first-round pick on maybe a quarterback instead of maybe adding to our receiver core, cornerback, something like that. So we need Cam Ward to up himself to 5%. So I'm going to confidently hope for a great birthday present by putting all 100 schmeckles on Cam Ward.
Thank you, Mike. Ooh. Betting against Willy Donick there. All $100.
Okay.
I
hope he's right. That'd be fine.
He's all in.
Josh says all $100 on Jeffrey Simmons recording at least 10 sacks. We'll get to that.
Okay.
Bet number 3. Someone other than Carnell Tate leads the Titans in receiving touchdowns. So I'm not talking about total touchdowns. Someone other than Carnell Tate will lead the Titans in receiving touchdowns. Willie?
This one I thought, and this is nothing against Carnell Tate, so I want to say that on the front end. But I just thought there's so many people I could see it possibly being that I thought it was a good bet. And so I went $45 on this one just because they haven't scored a lot of touchdowns. I don't think it's going to be a super power offense. So I think it could be one of those kind of like last year where Tate catches 4 or 5, but somebody like Wan'Dale Robinson catches 6, or maybe Gunnar Helm has a really good year in the red zone, something like that. So I went $45 on someone other than Carnell Tate leading the Titans in receiving touchdowns.
Derek?
I am going $15 with someone else leading the Titans in receiving touchdowns. The problem I have with this, and the reason why I didn't put more money on this, is because you just never know how a season is going. I mean, injuries, you got to factor that into it. I know he's going to hit that proverbial rookie wall. So there are a lot of things that are working against him. So I think with the money that I have left, I'm going to put $15 as someone else outside of Carnell Tate.
I will place $10 on someone other than Carnell Tate leading the Titans in receiving touchdowns. I think the Titans are going to try to make Carnell Tate the main focus of the offense. And I was doing some research as preparation for this, and there were a couple of stats that really popped out to me. I already told the guys the answer during the break, but the Titans' leader in red zone targets this past season was Chimdike with 14, and the next closest player was Alec Iamander with 8. Also, Cam Ward, we know he likes to throw it deep. He only had 2 deep touchdown passes last season. Carnell Tate caught 6 deep touchdown passes last season for The Ohio State University. So I think the Titans are going to do everything in their power to try to force feed Carnell Tate the ball as much as possible. So I understand the point. I'm basically betting Tate or the field. And I understand the field is probably the better bet, but I'm going to show some faith in Carnell Tate, and I'm putting $10 down.
The other factor is if Carnell Tate were to miss some games with injury, that's not factored into the bet. You don't get any insurance. You get penalized for that. So if he's not available, that's less games he could catch a touchdown pass. So that was part of my thinking too.
Connor?
There's a saying in Lexington, and you guys know how much I love my Wildcats. Always bet on blue. And the Titans have a man who used to wear blue on their roster. His name's Wan'Dale Robinson.
Indeed.
I'm going to put $15 on Wan'Dale Robinson to lead the Titans.
Specifically
Wan'Dale.
Okay.
So how does that work?
I don't know.
Would it still? Do I get bonus points for that, or is it still qualify under
you don't
someone other?
Trying to add rules.
Yeah,
and stuff.
exactly.
I mean, I feel like Friedman would be happy with that.
How about
loopholes?
How about a pat on the back?
I want you to compliment my hairline since you destroyed it earlier.
We'll get you an extra foot-long sub.
Yes.
That would be good.
That is true. We'll adjust for inflation. All right. The next bet. Jeffrey Simmons records at least 10 sacks. Last season, he had a career-high 11. Now, keep in mind, one of the major talking points of OTAs, Robert Saleh intends to play Jeffrey Simmons for fewer snaps this season. Our friend Nick Suss spells it out like this, quote, "Since his first full season in 2020, Simmons has never averaged fewer than 50 snaps per game. With last year's 49ers, Saleh didn't have a single interior defensive lineman average more than 30 snaps per game. Playing under Saleh from 2021 through 23, All-Pro defensive tackle Quinnen Williams only averaged 43 snaps per game, or roughly 100 fewer per season than Simmons. So you do have to keep that in mind. Saleh's going to try to keep Simmons off the field a little bit more to keep him fresh. And hopefully that will work to his advantage. But the plan is for him not to be on the field as much. So can he still get to double-digit sacks, Willy Donick?
I think this is a pretty good bet. I'm going to say with 17 games on the schedule, it's a little easier to get to double digits. He had 11 last year. I believe in the system. He's got more help on the defensive line. I think what you got to hope for is that they are in more games, and so they have more times that the other team has to throw. So I put $20 on Jeffrey Simmons saying yes, and if you do the math, that is my full budget. So it might let you know what I think of the next one.
Derek, Jeffrey Simmons recording at least 10 sacks.
I looked at the league over the last 4 years, and each year is kind of different. But in the last 4 years, 2023 was the year that 23 guys had 10 or more sacks. And then the last 2 years, it's dwindled down to 17. So double-digit sacks aren't as easy to come around as we may think. A new defense. I think more and more teams are looking to stop Jeffrey Simmons, no matter who they got in line. They know they got to stop Jeffrey Simmons first. So I'm going with $5. I don't think he's going to get. I think he's going to be dominant in other areas. I don't think the sacks are going to tell how dominant he's going to be this year.
Okay, you said $5?
$5.
This may come as a shock to you. I'm putting 40 big ones
Wow.
on Jeffrey Simmons recording at least 10 sacks. I am going to give Robert Saleh the benefit of the doubt on this one. We can certainly question his head coaching abilities, but we know that Robert Saleh is a damn good defensive coach. I know Jeffrey Simmons is going to have more help along the defensive line this season, but I was so impressed with what I saw from Jeffrey Simmons. Part of me does believe he'll be motivated by being number 83 on the NFL top 100 players list, number 2 on that Jeremy Fowler list. He's got a market resetting contract to live up to. I was a little nervous just because of everything I laid out about how he won't be on the field as much, but I am expressing faith in Jeffrey Simmons. I am putting 40 big ones on Jeffrey Simmons recording at least 10 sacks this season. Connor?
If there's one thing I know about Jeffrey Simmons, it's that he likes to win. If there's 2 things I know about Jeffrey Simmons, it's that he likes to hit the quarterback. I think that list of number 83 is going to piss him off. And you could say players don't care about that. I've heard it from an NFL player himself who's sitting right across from me, that players look at that stuff. I think he's going to take it personal. I think he's going to dominate. And because of that, give me the remaining $50 in my budget. Shove it in the middle on Jeffrey Simmons getting 10 sacks this year.
All right. Ian. He's all in. 615-737-1025. We'll wrap up our final bet coming up next. But again, if you're just joining us, here's what we're doing. 5 prop bets on the Tennessee Titans for next season. You have 100 figurative dollars to bet. You do not have to place a bet on all 5 prop bets, but you do have to spend all $100. Here are your 5 bets. 1, the Titans will double their win total from last season, so they will win at least 6 games. 2, Cam Ward improves his completion percentage by at least 5 percentage points, so from 59.8 to at least 64.8%. 3, someone other than Carnell Tate leads the Titans in receiving touchdowns. 4, Jeffrey Simmons records at least 10 sacks, and we will do the last one coming up next. The Titans will go at least 3-3 in the AFC South. We'll place our bets. You can too coming up next. Willy Donick, Derek Mason, Adam Vingan, 102.5 The Game. Okay, I do have to give Willy Donick his props. I had no idea that Willy Donick knew JoJo.
Oh yeah.
Wow, JoJo.
I bet Evie blasted some JoJo.
I know a good song when I hear it.
What was Little Too Late.
What are the other songs you've heard?
Too Hot. So it has to, does it have to do with a breakup or a relationship?
Does it have the word two in it? TOO?
Is that your guess?
Sure.
Bing.
Yeah.
Oh my
The title has to have 2 in it. TOO2, not the number 2.
It's excessive. That's what we were
Excessive.
I was told to say.
Oh my goodness.
Take that,
Excessiveness.
Derek.
It's too little, too late.
Oh my goodness.
It's too hot.
DMase, you were so close. You were getting there.
Derek.
Gosh.
Pretty good. How many was that? Is that the 4th song?
4.
Yeah. And what was the Hosier song?
Hosier was Too Sweet.
Too Sweet.
Yeah,
Too
Too Sweet.
Too Sweet, Too Hot, Too Little, Too Late. And what was the 4th one?
What was the first one? Cool in the Gang.
No,
that was Too Hot.
Too Hot.
Okay.
Cool in the Game was the second one.
The second one was, Cool in the Game was second. Too Funky was the first.
Too Funky. Yeah.
George Michael.
Too Funky.
See, that's what I missed. The Too Funky, but I still wouldn't guess it anyway.
We should have got some.
I'll take my win. I'll take
Man.
my win.
Congratulations.
All right. We're finishing.
More to come.
We're finishing our Titans prop bets. You can join us, 615-737-1025. If you're just joining us, here's what's happening. I've created 5 prop bets for the Tennessee Titans in 2026. I am giving you 100 fake dollars. You have to bet all $100, but you don't have to bet it across all 5. So, for example, one of the bets was Cam Ward improves his completion percentage by at least 5 percentage points. Willy Donick decided to place $0 on that particular bet. But when we get to the end, which we're about to, it's got to equal 100. So here is the final question, 615-737-1025. The Titans will go at least 3-3 in the AFC South. The Titans' divisional record the past 3 seasons, a robust 2-16. So will the Tennessee Titans win at least 3 divisional games next season, Willy Donick?
If you've done the math, you know I have no dollars left in my fictitious $100 bank.
So Willy is saying 0.
I just don't have faith. I hope I'm wrong. It's kind of like, you got your fantasy team pitcher pitching against your team. Like, I'm a Mets fan, but I know if my fantasy pitcher is pitching against the Mets, who have the worst offense in the National League, then there's a pretty good chance that pitcher is going to pitch well, and I'll be happy to be wrong if the Mets win. So I'll be happy if the Titans go 3-3. I just don't think they're ready for that yet.
So now that you've completed your bets, recap how much you've bet across all 5.
I have $35 on doubling the win total. That's no great shakes to get to 6 wins out of 17 games. So all they have to do is go 6-11. Maybe they get 1 or 2 in the division. I think there are 6 wins there. So I got $35 there. I didn't touch the Cam Ward improving by 5 percentage points in his completion percentage. I went $45 on someone other than Carnell Tate leading the Titans in receiving touchdowns, justifying that Carnell Tate's going to be a rookie. They got a lot of different guys they could go to. They got Wan'Dale Robinson, and Carnell Tate could get hurt. So there's a lot of ways I can get there. It's the whole field. I'll take the field. And I went $20 on Jeffrey Simmons getting at least 10 sacks.
Derek, the Titans will go at least 3-3 in the AFC South. Place your bet.
Well, I looked at this and I said since 2014, they've been on this cycle where from 2014 to 2016, they lost more games. They couldn't split the division. They lost more than they won. Then they went on a 6-season run where they either won 3 games or they won 5. So they were on a heater. Then the last 3 seasons, they went 1-5 in each season based upon the record in the conference, meaning the division.
The Titans actually went 0-6 in the division.
Yeah, you're right. 0-6.
1-5, 1-5, 0-6 in the past 3 seasons.
So if history is going to repeat itself, I would say that the Titans this year will end up splitting or winning more games than not this year. So I am putting $25 that the Titans, the only team that I'm scared of is the Houston Texans. But I think they will either split or win both games against Indianapolis. I think they will split Jacksonville. And that Houston game, those two games scare me because I think Houston's just that defense is just, it's lights out. So I think they will split the division.
All right. So recap how much you've bet across.
Recapping. Okay. The
Yes.
Titans to win a total of six games. I put $40. Cam Ward improving his completion rate percentage. I put $15. Carnell Tate, someone other than Carnell Tate will lead in touchdown receptions. I put $15. Jeffrey Simmons, 10 sacks. I put $5. And then obviously the last one, 3 and 3 or better. I put $25.
So his portfolio is spread across.
Yeah,
the
spread.
five.
I like
Yes.
Diversified.
He
man.
diversified the
Exactly,
portfolio.
man.
Yeah, that's the lingo
I
for that.
like
Even
spread it
flow is
across.
Pearl Jam.
Exactly.
Yes.
Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Right.
Okay.
Our friend Mike and Gallatin bet all $100 on Cam
That's-
Ward.
that's not
improving his
diversifying.
completion
Yeah, that's
percentage
not
by at least 5
diversifying.
percentage points. With my remaining monies, I will place $15 on the Tennessee Titans going at least 3 and 3 in the AFC South. Again, they've won 2 division games over the past 3 seasons. 2 and 16 in the division over the past 3 seasons. I feel like they're going to steal 1 game in the division this season. Like, I think they'll beat the Colts at home. Maybe they'll beat the Jags at home, maybe, and then they'll win a game on the road that they maybe shouldn't win. So it's not a huge bet, but I will place $15 on the Titans going at least 3 and 3 in the AFC South. So here's my diverse portfolio: $25 on the Titans doubling their win total from last season. $10 on Cam Ward improving his completion percentage by at least 5 percentage points. Another $10 on someone other than Carnell Tate leading the Titans in receiving touchdowns. I'm bullish on Carnell Tate. $40 on Jeffrey Simmons recording at least 10 sacks. And another $15 on the Titans going 3 and 3 in the AFC South. Connor?
I am all out of human monies.
Yep.
So I'm with Willy. I don't really trust the Titans to get at that 3-3 margin. I could see them winning a couple games, but I don't know if that's a firm line between 2 wins and 3 in the world of betting. So with that being said, and because I put all my money on Jeffrey Simmons, I am out on this bet. So to recap, I put $30 on the Titans to double their win total. I put $5 on Cam Ward to improve his completion percentage by at least 5 points. I put $15 on anyone other than Carnell Tate, specifically Wan'Dale Robinson. But for the sake of the bet, we're saying anyone other than Carnell Tate. And I put $50 on Mr. Jeffrey Simmons to get 10 or more sacks.
So you and Willie decided to abstain from using your monies on one particular one, where Adam and I chose to use all our money across the board.
I skipped 2.
Yeah, you skipped 2 and you skipped the last one.
I did.
Okay.
Adam in Portland says, I would put $100 on someone else leading the team in receiving touchdowns. You have to figure that our offensive line sucks so bad that Tate will not be able to get down the field. So Cam will need to drop it off to Robinson or to Spears and Pollard, or maybe even Gunnar Helm. Now, I think a receiver who can stretch the field is great, but I don't think he will lead us in receptions or receiving yards.
I mean, I'm not saying he's wrong. I just think there will be a lot of other factors that Carnell Tate can't control. One is, how will the offense flow? How is the offensive line? Is it much better than what it was last year? And then I just think once you get into the season, you just don't know how your body's going to react. You can try to do whatever you need to do, but you haven't been in a situation where you've had to play this many games, and it's grueling. You get no break. There's no going to class and getting a break from football. No, this is football 24/7. So how much of that is going to wear him down toward the middle of the season?
One texter says, $25 on Cam Ward improving his completion percentage. The texter also says, I'm kind of down on Simmons getting double-digit sacks again, since that was the first time he's ever done it. So I'm going to do $5 on that. I can also see the Titans splitting the division, as I don't think they're very good. I will put $20 on that. And I will put $25 on somebody other than Tate being the touchdown leader for the Titans. Also $25 on doubling the win total. I think that adds up to 100, but I'm not going to do the math. So
do you think okay, one of the questions is Jeffrey Simmons at least 10 sacks.
Yes.
Do you think he will be the guy, if indeed he gets 10 sacks, will that lead the team?
I'm wondering who else would. John Franklin Myers.
And when's the last time they had two guys the same year have double digits?
Was it Harold?
I can find that out for you if you give me a moment. I can find that out during the break.
Harold Landry and who was with him the last time? It wasn't a Rackpo, was it?
Now you're going way back.
That may have been before.
All
Harold
those guys
Landry
might have snuck in a 10 sack season, but I'm not sure if I can remember I don't off the top of my head remember two guys
having 10 sacks or more.
Yeah.
You know what we'll do? I will look that up during the break. 615-737-1025. One texter quickly says, I'm going to put the whole $100 on they're going to triple their win total from last year. They're going to have at least nine wins. What? That wasn't the bet, but I appreciate your moxie. 615-737-1025. Coming up next, when you wake up in the morning, all of the episodes of the new Netflix series, well, it's not new, the newest season of the Netflix series, Quarterback, will be available to you and us. So what do we hope to see from Cam Ward on the show? We'll discuss that coming up next. 615-737-1025. Willy Donick, Derek Mason, Adam Vingan, 1025 The Game. DMase, Vingan, and Donick, 1025 The Game. Willie Donick, Derek Mason, Adam Vingan, and Connor Newt here with you. All right. A little trivia, because Derek Mason was wondering before the break. He was wondering when the last time two members of the Tennessee Titans had double-digit sacks in the same season. So I went back to the history of the Tennessee Oilers/Titans, and there has only been one season where multiple players had double-digit sacks. I have not revealed the answer. Any guesses? Derek Mason, Willie Donick.
I believe that Harold Landry was one of them.
Harold Landry was one of the players.
Yes. And who did we just say?
Danico Autry.
Danico Autry.
The only time two members of the Tennessee Titans had double-digit sacks in the same season was all the way back. Not that far ago. 2023. Danico Autry and Harold Landry.
There we go.
2023. So that was the year that the season fell apart too, right?
Landry had 10.5. Autry had 11.5.
That's the only time it's happened.
The only time that multiple
in the history of the Titans
here
in the Titans/Tennessee Oilers.
Wow. It's a long time with only, wow. I would have never thought that.
Here are the only players in Tennessee Oilers/Titans history with double-digit sack seasons. We're going to start from the top. Jeffrey Simmons in 2025, Harold Landry and Danico Autry in 2023, Harold Landry in 2021, Brian Arakpo in 2016, Jarrell Casey in 2013, Jason Babin in 2010, Kyle Vanden Bosch in both 2007 and 2005, Kevin Carter in 2002, Javon Curse in 2001, 2000, and 1999.
Gosh.
That's it.
You'd think there'd be a couple more in there.
Exactly.
Nope. That's it.
I didn't realize that Jarrell Casey had a 10 sacks season. I said, but I was thinking like, man, maybe his highest was 9, but I guess his highest was 10.
In 2013, he had 10.5 sacks for the Tennessee Titans. So there you go. You all learned something today.
Absolutely. Let's go Titans.
In the middle of the night tonight, I believe 2 a.m. Central Time, the latest season of Netflix's Quarterback drops. All, I believe, 8 episodes will be available to you. And of course, Cam Ward is a part of the series alongside Derek's old friend, Joe Flacco, emphasis on old, Jaden Daniels, and Baker Mayfield. So Cam Ward, Baker Mayfield, Jaden Daniels, and Joe Flacco will be a part of Quarterback season number 3. And look, I plan on watching as much of the series as I can. Admittedly, my first go around, I'll probably just watch the Cam Ward parts. I'll go back and watch the other parts. But my main focus, of course, will be on Cam Ward in this series because it will provide a behind-the-scenes look at Cam Ward's rookie year. So here is what I want to discuss to start this hour. What are we hoping to see from Cam Ward? We had Turron Davenport on earlier in the program, and he talked about how he hopes to see Cam Ward's work ethic emphasized during the course of the show, because we have heard so much about how Cam Ward arrives at the facility at the crack of dawn or even before the crack of dawn, how much time he puts in after practice, how much time he puts in the film room, all of those things. And TD said, I hope the Netflix cameras capture Cam Ward in all of these situations so that Titans fans who are perhaps skeptical of Cam Ward can see truly how hard he works. Willie, as you sit down to watch this series, and what we're probably going to do is split it up over the course of the week, 2 episodes, 2 episodes, 2 episodes, 2 episodes. So 2 episodes a day through the rest of the week as we discuss what we saw. As you sit down to watch this series, what are you hoping to see from Cam Ward?
You know, if it's a good TV show, I hope that I learn some things that I didn't already know. What I don't want to see is the same old stuff that, you know, we've already known about Cam Ward. So it's a high bar because we're here in Nashville. We're watching him every day. I mean, I'm not at practice every day. So that's what I want to see. I hope they take a good angle or two where we find some things out that we didn't already know. I'm taking for granted that he's going to work hard. It should be part of the job anyway, but two, we've heard a lot of great things about Cam Ward and his work ethic. So I would expect that to come through. I'm hoping to be surprised a little bit.
Well, I'm hoping to see how he navigated through this unusual season. From getting a quarterback, head coach being fired, offensive coordinators changed, fired, the whole makeup of your team, your number one wide receiver goes down. How did he navigate through all of that? Because we were just seeing it on game day, and we're hear about it, in practice. Not so much so, because once the season starts, practices are pretty much closed. But hopefully the behind the scenes take us into how he really navigated and handled all of that, because it will shed a light on, what he had to do to get better that second half of the season, as opposed to the first half when it was Brian Callahan. So that more than anything is going to be intriguing to me.
There are a couple of specific instances that I hope are captured with some depth in this series. Number one, we ass. I want to know if there's any behind the scenes footage of Cam Ward talking to any teammates, talking to coaches about those specific comments after the Titans started 0-4, because we talked a lot about those comments. They made the rounds nationally. But I'm wondering if there's a scene where maybe Jeffrey Simmons, for example, saddles up next to Cam and says, hey, man, let's talk about this. I want to see how maybe that situation, like the fallout from that situation behind the scenes. I'm also curious about his first game going to Denver. We talked so much about that, how tough of an environment that was going to be. Of course, I want to see how he reacts to the news that Brian Callahan got fired. Like, I think there are certain touch points throughout the course of the season that I hope get a really hard look. But the first, maybe this tells me something about me, but the first thing I'm really hoping is the exploration of the we ass comments, and if there was any lingering issues in the locker room after that.
And then how did he tackle being injured at the end of the season? I'm sure they've chronicled his rehab in the offseason. So how did it affect him in the offseason, and how has it affected him mentally? So that'll be interesting to see, because you just never know how a quarterback's going to come off of an injury, especially to your shoulder. That's like, how does a receiver come back after having, a torn ACL or an Achilles tear? Chronicle that through the offseason, and how much does it motivate and push him, or how much can he push himself through that? So I would love to see that too, because watching his documentary or docuseries,
the Tubi,
it was really good, and it did show some of those behind the scenes, his work ethic. So like Willie, we already know that stuff. Either we know it by what they've said, or if you've watched the documentary on Tubi, how hard the kid works. I want to see some of this other stuff. How is he maturing as a quarterback? Because he's the leader, he's the face. Eventually he will be the face, but right now he's one of two, because I think the Jeff is the other. But how has he navigated himself through this? Because there's a lot on his shoulders this offseason. So how is he handling all that?
And I don't know what the protocol is for this series in terms of how much discretion, I think that's the right word to use here, how much discretion the teams involved in the NFL have in terms of what gets into the show. With the Cam Ward series on Tubi, I'm sure he had a lot of influence on what was presented and how it was presented. I don't know if Netflix, I don't know how, for example, Hard Knocks, I don't know how much say HBO gets and hey, we're going to put this in the show, whether you like it or not. And we've got final say on the ultimate edit of the program. So I am wondering if there are going to be instances during this quarterback show that may be unflattering to Cam Ward. I don't think it's going to be like a character assassination or anything like that, but maybe there will be some of those rookie moments where, Cam Ward really struggled and we get to see that versus, no, you can't show that. You can't show him at his worst moment. You got to take that out. So I don't know, Willie, what the editing process is like. I don't know how much say Ward and the Titans ultimately have in this.
I think we have seen so many types of shows like this now over the last decade or two, maybe even 3 now, that you expect to be able to see access. Access is everything. That Seth Wickersham article, DMase and I had a great discussion about that on Friday. Some of the things that you just would not otherwise learn had either the camera or the writer or both had the access that they had. Sean Payton granted Seth Wickersham great access. I don't know 100% if there were things that Sean Payton could tell Seth Wickersham, I don't want that in there, but it didn't seem like there was much. And there were a lot of things that you would never have found out about some of the behind-the-scenes things of a game that all of us, not all of us, but most of us probably watch, just given the fact that if you're a football fan, you watch a lot of NFL playoff games. And so I knew the reference of the game that they were preparing for. I know who Josh Allen is. I know a lot of the build. Like it worked really well. So I'm just hoping that we have that here because sometimes you are disappointed, right? The bar is high. So if you promote the show as like, this is the inside look, and then you don't really have all that, and there's too much of what you're suggesting, Adam, that the league or the team or the quarterback can say, don't put that in there, then it generally dulls the effect of a show like that.
Well, they're always going to protect the player, the NFL. They're not, especially when it comes to their quarterbacks, and you're talking about outside of Joe, you're talking about a bunch of young quarterbacks that they're featuring. And this one, then Baker Mayfield's a little bit older, I get it. But they're not going to do anything that is going to shine a bad light on their quarterbacks because they believe at least Jaden Daniels and even Cam Ward, they're a part of the future moving forward. The other documentaries was on Joe Burrow and some other guys, but I don't think the NFL, they're going to let some things go because you want to try to give them, what it's like behind the scenes, but you're never going to do anything, at least the NFL, with damaging their product. I don't think they're going to allow something to come out that is going to shine a bad light on any one of these guys, because then the other guys are not going to want to do it.
Well, I remember 3-4 years ago now, I think it was 4 years ago now, Willie, NHL Network produced a Predators docuseries leading up to the games in Prague, right? To start the season. That was an NHL Network produced documentary. And it was an interesting documentary, but of course, being produced by the NHL, you knew that it was going to portray the Predators in a positive light versus something like Hard Knocks. I remember the 24/7 series with the NHL 10, 15 years ago. Those were, to me, groundbreaking. I think the quarterback series is more in line with 24/7 and Hard Knocks versus a league-produced documentary. So, again, I'm not expecting Cam Ward to be, to look unflattering here. But I am hoping that some of his quote-unquote worst moments are captured because I do want to see how he reacts to those.
We know if you're a Titans fan, it was a struggle,
yes,
right? So you want to see how he handles the struggle. And if you're trying to portray it as, well, he didn't struggle, then we know it's not really going to be really good. Let's hope they do a very good job of chronicling the gasoline fire that he was in survival mode from start to finish. And we know it wasn't all him in the least. It's a rookie trying to survive on a really bad roster.
And when I say the league is not going to do anything to make these guys look bad, I'm not trying to say they're not going to tell, like, the coach getting fired and how did he react, or what happened during the game. They're going to tell those stories, I believe, but they're not going to get to a point where it's truly diminishing the player moving forward, or this bad narrative on a player moving forward.
615-737-1025. Late tonight, early tomorrow morning, the latest season of Quarterback premieres on Netflix, including Cam Ward, along with Jaden Daniels, Baker Mayfield, and Joe Flacco. Will you be watching it? And what do you hope to see from Cam Ward? We will be watching it. We will be discussing it throughout the week. If anything interesting presents itself over the course of the series. 615-737-1025. But coming up next, we had what I would describe as an ill-fated return over the weekend in sports. So it led me to wonder, what are the worst individual comeback attempts in sports? We will discuss that coming up next. 615-737-1025. Willy Donick, Derek Mason, Adam Vengit, 1025 The Game.
Hey, this is Derek Mason, and you heard me tell you about Dr. Lodge and his staff over at Cool Springs MD for some time. If you set out to lose weight, chances are it's not your first time setting a goal to shed some extra pounds only to face disappointment. But I got some good news, because at Cool Springs MD, Dr. Lodge and his team understands the frustration of this cycle, and that is why they offer a different approach to weight loss. Their comprehensive weight loss program is led by Dr. Jeffrey Lodge and addresses the root cause of weight gain with tailored nutrition, exercise, blood test supplements, and more. They will customize a program specific to you and you only. So connect with Dr. Lodge at CoolSpringsMD.com today to schedule your appointment for a personalized weight loss plan just for you. That's Cool Springs MD, where your weight loss journey becomes a success story.
DMase, Vingan and Donick, 1025 the game. Our friend Hair Metal Henry says, about 30 minutes ago, if the next song is not Too Shy by Kaja Gugu, I am boycotting the show. Well, there you go, Henry.
We got you, Henry. It was always there. It was always there.
We got you. Let's go to our phone line driven by WilsonCountyHunter.com and welcome in our friend Adam in Portland. Adam, thank you for calling. Go ahead.
Dude, the worst, I always think about, this wasn't a comeback. Well, the worst comeback probably ever for the Titans would be Adrian Peterson popping in here for like 5 minutes and being terrible. But what I was thinking of, I always think of David Givens because he got signed here. He was supposed to be a good player, and then he immediately gets hurt. I don't think he ever played if he played a regular season snap, I don't remember it. And then he never came back after that. It was like the worst money ever spent. So those are my two always as far as local guys, man.
Thank you, Adam. So if you blinked, you missed it over the weekend. The long-awaited return of Conor McGregor to UFC. He injured his right leg in the opening seconds of the fight, which lasted, I believe, 69 seconds. Nice. I did it for you. 1 minute, 9 seconds. After, I believe, more than 5 years away from the octagon, Conor McGregor throws a kick, hurts himself, game over. And who knows if we'll see Conor McGregor in UFC again. He's got bigger problems than just injuries. But it got me thinking about the worst individual comeback attempts in sports. And the one that comes to mind immediately for me, because I was living somewhat nearby when it happened, was Michael Jordan returning for the Washington Wizards. Why did Michael Jordan need to come back and play for the Washington Wizards? He was a reduced player for the Washington Wizards. They went 74-90 in his 2 seasons and missed the playoffs both times. I mean, his career ended on the perfect note, right? The shot in Utah to win his 6th, right, NBA title. And then he comes back in those horrendous Wizards uniforms in the early 2000s and just was not Michael Jordan. I mean, if you squinted hard enough, he was Michael Jordan, but it was clearly not Michael Jordan. So, Mike, why'd you do that? I mean, it was cool for a minute. It's like I could drive to go see Michael Jordan now, but I never did, and I'm kind of glad I didn't because he was not so good. So to me, I think about Michael Jordan. That was the first player who came to mind.
You're right, because I think what sort of encapsulated it all for me, well, Mike, he went up and tried to dunk, and somebody blocked his dunk. Nobody had ever blocked a Michael Jordan dunk that I saw. And man, they just made him just like, dude, it's just time for you to sit down, man. Just stop. Now, comebacks, I've seen a bunch of sort of like failed ones, but a lot of them to me were in boxing, whether Mike Tyson or
Muhammad Ali
or Leonard staying too long, coming back out. Especially Mike Tyson when he came back to fight. I think it was Evander Holyfield. It just wasn't. It was like, dude, you're no match for Evander Holyfield. You got to a point where you had to bite him in order to win that fight. And then obviously Tyson went on and had some other matches. But to me, I think Magic Johnson, when he was off for almost 5 years and came back in 96, 97, somewhere around there, and he just, you can see like him compared to the other play. Physically, you couldn't compare him. And then once he got out there, it was just like, dude, he wasn't even a point guard no more. He was playing another position. And I didn't want to see my boy go out like that.
So Dylan in Antioch says probably Favre with the Jets, things really started going downhill for him then, which is true. But we're talking about athletes who at least took a year off. Conor McGregor did not fight for, I believe, 5 years. Mm-hmm. There were multiple reasons for that, injuries, run-ins with the law, but it had been 5 years since he was in a UFC fight, and he lasted 1 minute 9 seconds. So keep that part in mind. That's why I said Michael Jordan. Adam in Portland chimed back in and said Michael Jordan was actually good in Washington. He did average 21.5 points over his 2 seasons in Washington, but he averaged 31.5 points over the previous part of his career. So it did not go as well. Willie, what comes to mind for you?
I was trying to figure out the official wording of this, but I was, and it just got referenced, but not Brett Favre with the Jets, because Brett Favre started 16 games every single year. But that there was the last year in Minnesota. Remember, he went to Minnesota, and I don't remember if the word retired was used, but there seemed to be this drama of, is he going to play? Is he going to not play? He played the one good year for Minnesota where they lost to the Saints. The Saints won the Super Bowl. There was the whole Bounty Gate thing. Really exciting season, and he was pretty good that year at age 40. He came back for one more kick. I feel like he retired, but I can't find documentation of this. But that last year, Brett Favre, he threw 19 interceptions. He threw 11 touchdown passes. They fell off the map. He just was not good at all. But there are some guys where I get I'm trying to remember like how many times they came back. Like Jordan came back twice.
Do you remember when Jim Palmer tried to make a comeback with the Baltimore Orioles?
Vaguely, yes. It didn't last very long, I don't think.
I think he lasted part of a spring training game and said, "I'm out."
Okay. Does it even count if you do that?
Do you consider
I was also
Tiger?
thinking,
I know he won a Masters, but his comebacks have been awful.
Yeah, I don't know if he actually retired though.
Yeah.
Like he was taking sabbaticals and going to get healed from injuries and all kinds of other stuff. What about when George Foreman came back and at like 50 years old and fought? You remember that one?
He got beat. Was it
Evander Holyfield that he fought?
Yeah.
Like he was 50.
Yeah.
I think George
Evander
Foreman.
Holyfield beat him up bad. I believe
he kind of hung in there. He did better than I thought.
It went up. It went some rounds, but you can tell that Foreman didn't have it anymore.
I also remember Bjorn Borg, who was at the absolute top of the sport in the 70s into the early 80s in tennis. And I actually got to go to this match as a kid. It's one of the biggest sporting events I've been to, the finals of the U.S. Open in 1981. I was just a kid. McEnroe beat him, and Borg famously did not come out for the trophy ceremony. He just disappeared, and he was burned out, and he retired, and he was only in his 20s when it happened. And then a few years later, he tried to do a comeback, and the game had really evolved, and he came rolling out there in the old wooden racket in the same stuff, and the technology advanced stuff. It just did not go well. So I'm Borg is another one I thought of.
So Jim Palmer, Baseball Hall of Famer, correct?
Oh yeah.
In the spring
no-brainer.
In the spring of 1991, tried his hand with the Orioles in spring training. In his first spring outing, he surrendered 2 runs on 5 hits in 2 innings, and that was that. He gave it a shot.
I mean, so 1991?
In 1991,
because I think he
retiring in 1984.
84, yeah.
Yes.
I don't think he pitched in 84. Did he? Maybe a little bit. So that's a long layoff there. We're talking 7 years. Wow.
I mean, Greg has an interesting one here. Greg says, what about Jonathan Taves with the Winnipeg Jets this past season? He is now officially retired. He had not retired, I believe, when he took a few years off, but he did have a few years off before returning with the Jets, and it did not go well for Jonathan Taves.
So Borg took basically 10 years off and then tried to come back, and it just was not good.
How could we forget Phillip Rivers? When Phillip Rivers came back
last year.
with the Indianapolis Colts.
I mean, you know what, though? When you're saying ill-fated.
Wait, was that his?
I thought he did about as well as you could possibly do under those circumstances, right?
Yes.
That was a mini comeback.
Yes. We're thinking more of like an athlete.
But he was, how many years? 4 years between starts for Rivers?
Let's take a look here.
Like, there's a couple ways. Like, I think you produced it as like disastrous comebacks, right?
Yes. He played in 2020 and then again in 2025.
Ooh, 5
so
years.
So four full years off for Phillip Rivers. Before
and how many games did he play that season?
He started 3 games for the Colts this past season and went 0-3. But completed 63% of his passes, which is better than Cam Ward.
And he looked all right in the playoff game.
But I'm thinking more like an athlete who came back after multiple years of not competing. And when they did compete, it went horribly. Like Conor McGregor over the weekend. I mean, he threw one kick, and that was it. Connor, you said you had one. I want to hear yours.
I have two that come to mind. One is ongoing, and he's not an athlete, but Bill Belichick over in Chapel Hill right now is not going well, and I think it's going to end poorly. But the athlete that comes to mind to me is Tim Tebow. When he retired from football with the Broncos, or was it?
And tried to play baseball?
Tried to play baseball.
For the Mets, right?
For Willy's Mets. Didn't go well. And then remember when Urban Meyer was hired as the head coach of the Jags, they picked up Tebow as a tight end, and he was beyond horrible.
I was a minor leaguer when Michael Jordan did his stunt trying to play minor league baseball. And I thought the same thing with Tim Tebow. I just thought that was just not good, but also it's kind of the thing that rubs people in the sport the wrong way. Like, I would have really been disappointed in the Mets if they had just put Tim Tebow in there just to sell tickets, because, boy, as we know, he sold a lot of minor league tickets, and he, to his credit, he grinded it out. He played for a while. He did okay, but why?
Couldn't hit.
You're taking somebody's spot. He could hit for a pretty good hitter for a quarterback.
George,
an NFL quarterback, like not for a real professional baseball player. He was okay.
George says, are we not going to talk about Mike Fisher, if only for local flavor, when Mike Fisher came back from a brief retirement to help out the Predators?
I was wondering if Alexander Ovechkin was going to do that this year. And I don't think Mike Fisher planned it, but he got the itch a few years into the year after the Predators got to the Stanley Cup final. And Peter Laviolette said, come on back. And so he came out of retirement for the Predators when they won the President's Trophy, and then retired after that. He played pretty well. It certainly wasn't disastrous.
One texter says Michael Vick. Michael Vick, of course, did not play for 2 full seasons. We know why.
That wasn't really retirement.
No.
But you know who?
But when he came back, he had a 500 record as a starter.
He had some moments.
The rest of his career.
Another guy, and I don't know why I didn't think of this when because I played with him, Deion Sanders. He was retired for 3 years, and then in 04 and 05 he played with the Ravens. I was only with him for a year.
And how'd it go?
And you can tell he was nowhere near the same player. He still had the bravado and the mind to play the game, but physically he just wasn't the same player. So I would, because he took 3 years off, and then they convinced him in 04 to come back. And he ended up playing 16 games in 05, played the whole season. Previous to that, he only played 9 games in that 04 season. But I think what they thought they were going to get, it was nowhere near it. And you're talking about a Hall of Fame guy, one of the best, if not the best corner. He just wasn't the same. Physically, he wasn't the same guy, or nowhere near it.
Let's go to Drew on our phone line. Drew, thank you for waiting. Please go ahead.
Hey, guys. Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. I'm glad Willie mentioned tennis. Serena Williams just returned for the championships at Wimbledon and blew out her knee. I respect both Venus and Serena's careers. They have tons of trophies. But this is like the 3rd or 4th time, if I remember, that Serena's come back. She had a couple kids, I think. So maybe it's a little different for women if they've been pregnant and they're trying to get back into shape from that. But I'm hoping at 44 that she's done now, and you can hopefully see some other rising stars in tennis. Federer didn't do this. Rafa didn't do it. Hopefully we can appreciate the Williamses, but move on to a new crop of talented women players.
Thanks for calling, Drew.
That just happened.
She played. Yeah. She lost in the first round. She won a set, I think.
Didn't they play doubles, her and her sister, not too long ago?
Yeah, they played this. They tried to play this
so that was
tournament.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So that was it. I knew
they've done it a few times.
Okay. I knew they were coming back. I didn't know if they
sometimes with
the match already.
Yeah, you go away, you say you're retired, you come back. The tennis definitely has quite a bit of that. It's a bummer when you're like, I retired. You have this big ceremony, and you're like, he's coming back. Like, because to the point where you're like, is he really retired? Like, you want to appreciate somebody when they announce their retirement, but sometimes this happens so much. Like Roger Clemens is another guy that retired more than once. So you had the big ceremony. You get get the Polaroids out. Get your cameras out. This is the last time you're going to see it, and he comes back the next year. So the false retiring, Favre did that a lot. Too. Aaron Rodgers plays this game every year, right? That's another one. But that's maybe a separate category because to his credit, now we know history has shown Roger Clemens had a little help as to why he did so well. But when he came back, he pitched well, very, very well.
615-737-1025 in quote-unquote honor of Conor McGregor's ill-fated return to UFC over the weekend. What are the worst individual comeback attempts in sports? 615-737-1025. Willie Donick, Derek Mason, Adam Vinkin, 1025 The Game.
Yeah, he was 38 years old.
Jim Palmer, I did not remember that one. I did not.
I'm
Morg
trying
is
to
the one that I think is probably
think,
the time.
it's only
DMase, Vingan, and Donick, 1025. The Game. Willy, Donick, Derek Mason, Adam Vingan here with you. Just another random pop-up shower here in Nashville. It is that time of the year. So, continuing our conversation in quote-unquote honor of Conor McGregor's ill-fated return to UFC over the weekend. What are the worst individual comeback attempts in sports? I mentioned Jim Palmer, member of the Baseball Hall of Fame. I found an article written in the New York Times from 1991, and listen to this lead. Quote, baseball romantics celebrate the sounds of spring every year. The crack of bat against ball, the snap of ball popping into glove. The sound that Jim Palmer heard while warming up for the Orioles Monday was not romantic. It was climactic. It was the pop of a hamstring, and it ended the unlikely comeback attempt of the 45-year-old Hall of Famer.
He actually retired a little bit earlier than some pitchers. Like he didn't hang on, but he was, I think, I don't know all the motivation. I think Jim Palmer still calls some games for the Orioles. He went out to a great announcing career. He was doing World Series and stuff for ABC for a long time. But he was pretty close to 300 wins, which nowadays, getting 300 wins, I don't know if it'll ever happen again, the way pitching goes now. But I'm guessing that might have been a little bit of the motivation. I completely forgot that as a baseball nut, and that's right in my wheelhouse, too.
He played, I think, 2 innings of a spring training game, his first game against major leaguers in nearly 7 years. So it did not go well for Jim Palmer. As the story notes, quote, in the game against the Red Sox, Palmer was impressive neither with his velocity nor his control. He did not overpower anybody, and he did not fool anyone with the deft location of his pitches. So,
my nominee is still Bjorn Borg coming back. It just didn't. He retired at 26 and then came back about 10 years later.
My nominee was Michael Jordan with the Washington Wizards. Again, I was 11, 12, 13 in that range when Michael Jordan came back for 2 seasons with the Wizards, but they were some awful seasons. And it was just so strange seeing him in that Wizards uniform, which was hideous to begin with. It was one thing when he wore the 4-5 for the Bulls for a minute, but to see him in the Wizards uniform, it quickly lost its appeal. He just wasn't the same player. Like, yeah, he averaged more than 20 points per game over 2 seasons, but we're talking about Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan should get 20 points in his sleep. So it did not go well.
You would think.
It's all, this is again our summer topic of the day. We had fun with it last week. It's like, it's all the eye of the beholder. Like, to me, you ask yourself, was it worth it for Michael Jordan? No, but when you average 20 points a game, like, it's not like he completely lost it. Like, Bjorn Borg came back and he was almost like in a time machine. He was still using the old wooden racket. The game had passed him by. He had no business coming out there. He was such a shadow of what he was in his prime, which was the best player in the world for 5, 6, 7 straight years in his early 20s. So I think of that as more of the, whoa, what were you thinking? Jim Palmer, that's one for sure. But Jordan at least could go back and, hey, I can still put 30 on you.
Keith said the good one that maybe isn't very popular would be last year. Marco Andretti attempted to come back and run in the Indy 500. He crashed and turned 1 lap 1. I guess he made it through 1 lap. I don't know.
And then see ya.
One texter says the XFL and the USFL.
Comebacks, yeah. Ill-fated comebacks?
Yes. Gabriel and Dixon says Lindsey Vonn.
Lindsey Vonn, she had a lot of different comebacks, I think.
This last one was,
that was a bummer.
Blew out her knee?
Yeah, that was tough.
Man.
And she had the injury and still tried to tough it out in the games themselves and had the crash that everybody will remember.
Yeah.
Now,
Sugar Ray Leonard in 97 when he came back to fight Hector Macho Camacho and got beat up.
Now, there's a guy that retired more than once.
Yeah, he retired, but then he came back and he fought Hagler, and he had some good fights against Hagler. Yep. But then he retired again and came back out and lost to Hector and got just beat up.
I lost count as a kid growing up, how many times Sugar Ray? Because at first, he had that Roberto Duran fight, the famous. I just remember this: the detached retina. It was an eye injury, but somehow it's like Rocky, like a real life Rocky, where some doctor said you can still do it, you can still fight. He was okay, and he fought a lot of times after that.
Now Benjamin is trying to predict one here by saying Aaron Donald.
Well, weren't there whispers of that over the weekend?
Yeah,
He was practicing at the Rams facility, I believe. I think Aaron Donald is still going to be pretty damn good if he comes back.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to get up there in the most disastrous comeback.
Just because he retired so young. He's 35, which is, I know that's quote unquote old in the NFL, but he retired young. So I have confidence in Aaron Donald if he decides to actually return from his retirement. One texter says Sugar Ray had more retirements than the Rolling Stones.
You're probably right about that.
There was actually
boxers in general tend to have a lot of retirements.
That's why a lot of my retirements, like when I think of it, it's more so boxing.
Yeah.
Because guys retire for about a year or two and then come back out and fight again.
Dylan says, on another note, I've seen Elton John's farewell tour twice in Nashville thanks to winning tickets from you guys, but it's the same tour. So he didn't actually ever retire. He just keeps the same farewell tour going, LOL. Well, we have discussed this on the program. When you ever hear DVD, the retirement tour, is it really the retirement tour? Is it really the final time? Or is this the fourth final time? How many final times are there going to be? Keith says non-sports would be the band Kiss. At one point, it seemed like they were having a farewell tour every year.
That's
laughable.
A whole separate category. Those bands that, this is it. This is the farewell tour.
Aerosmith.
Yeah.
Yes. Apparently, the home run derby is tonight. I had no idea.
How would you have no idea? It's the same date every year.
It is?
Yeah. The day after it's the All-Star break.
Shows what I know.
You have just, it's very disappointing, Adam.
Did you watch the Futures All-Star game this weekend?
No, I didn't.
I saw a little bit of it. Didn't know not one player out there. Because I thought it was, for some reason, I thought it was Major League.
It's not the young major leaguers. It's the minor leaguers.
Exactly. Then I start watching. I'm like, oh, okay, this is what it is.
Who's the betting favorite in the home run derby tonight?
Well, I think Bryce Harper being a guy that's won it before and he's playing in front of the home crowd, you would have to look at him.
Kyle Schwarber is indeed the betting favorite at plus 250.
That's a good call. Who else is in it?
Let's see.
Jordan Walker, Ben Rice.
Is Caminero in there?
Caminero's in there.
Wilson Contreras.
Yep.
Wilson Contreras. What's he doing in there?
He's got like 20 bombs.
He does. He's having a good year.
I'm going to butcher the hell out of this name. Munetaka Murakami.
Yeah, the Japanese.
There you go.
He's been hurt, so it'll be interesting. But he's like he's done well. He's missed some time. The White Sox have been a really good story.
And so Southside Samurai, they call him.
Yeah, Southside Samurai. I like that.
Is it Jay Caglione?
Jack Caglione.
Jack
Caglione.
That's a C.
Now he was a spectacular player, two-way player at Florida. High first-round pick. He hasn't put it all together, but if you just go by the metrics, I think he is capable of hitting the farthest home run. He hits the ball extremely hard, but we know at home run derby, it's not just hitting an occasional ball 480 or whatever. It's doing it one after another time. I hope it goes streamlined. I have not been a huge fan of the home run derby. If you make me watch one or the other, there are some people that would choose the home run derby over the All-Star game. I'm always going to take the All-Star game. But I'll keep an eye on it. But it is a chore to get through the whole thing. I just wish they would streamline it and have it go quicker.
And you're scoffing at me for not watching it. And it sounds like it's a bore.
No, but I know when it is. You didn't even know when it is.
Is there more
How can you in the middle of the summer not know it's the All-Star break?
Is there more they can do for the home run derby? They've changed the format a few times.
They've tried. Because for a while, it was just going on too long. Exactly. It's like one of those award ceremonies where you're looking at your watch going,
they ain't over yet. Do you think there'll be a lot of eyes on the All-Star game?
It's on Netflix, isn't it?
See, now that's the story, is that they have decided to put it on Netflix.
Oh, man.
So I don't know what to expect. And, like, you got to go to Netflix. Like, it's probably going to really hurt their viewership, right? You're making the audience, some of which doesn't even have Netflix. You're making them jump through the hoop of going to Netflix and finding it.
One texter says, I believe they are changing the format this year.
Good. I welcome that.
I know nothing about the format change. All right, here it is, according to MLB.com, quickly. No timer and no outs. First round, 20 swings. Round 2, 15 swings. Finals, 15 swings. Each swing counts toward a player's allotment, homer or not. If you homer on your last swing in any round, you can keep going until you do not homer. There is no bonus round, and there's no bracket for the first round.
Okay. I'm going to have to watch it because can you, I guess without the timer, they put the timer in so you can't just, wait for the perfect pitch every time. It's like and it becomes like a physical attrition kind of thing too. You get tired when you're swinging one after another, and the faster you go, the more tired you get, which is completely not like the real game of baseball. So I'm curious. I know they're aware that it is dragged. I'll say this though, that it's always packed. It's always, people always enjoy it when you're there. My son actually went there, and his buddy, they drove and got in last year. Actually got on TV at one point.
So is it 20 pitches or 20 swings?
That's a good question. 20 pitches no matter what, or swings? First
20
round.
Swings. Round 1.
Now in theory, I can take 20, and I don't.
I don't like, because you can wait for the perfect pitch.
Yeah.
20 swings. As Mark McGuire once said, do you want to know the terrifying truth? Or do you want to see me sock a few dingers? That's how we feel about the Home Run Derby. And that'll do it for us today here on the program. Tomorrow, Trevor Maddich will join us for his weekly chat. We will review at least the first couple of episodes of Quarterback on Netflix, specifically the Cam Ward parts. No disrespect to Joe Flacco, Jaden Daniels, and Baker Mayfield. But we'll take a look at how Cam Ward was portrayed in the first couple of episodes of the Quarterback series. Who knows what else we'll get into, but we'll find out together tomorrow at 3:00.
Be loved, loving your people. Have a safe, blessed, and wonderful day. I love you. The team loves you. You hear that music? Don't you forget about us, because we will not forget about you. We'll be back on these airwaves starting at 3 p.m. on 102.5 The Game. And as I always say, we're going to be talking, and
you're going to be listening.
Peace.